sacred science, an aura of sacredness or absolute certainty surrounds the abuser. The victim is led to believe that the controlling partner is always right and virtually incapable of making meaningful mistakes. He therefore becomes the ultimate authority on just about anything. This is evident by the prohibition, whether or not it is expressed explicitly, against the questioning of any of his opinions, claims, or interpretation of events and situations. As previously mentioned, the abuser's sacred signs may include using an idiosyncratic interpretation of the Bible to support his behavior and solicit submission. Hedda Nussbaum once thought of Joel Steinberg as her savior. She explained in a CNN interview with Larry King, "I thought he was terrific. He'd been helping me so much. I gave him credit for all the raises and promotions I was getting. He convinced me that he was a healer. He convinced me he had magical powers." Her husband, Ike, convinced Tina Turner that whatever success they experienced, it was due to his hard work and creative genius. He controlled not only their relationship, but was Turner's Svengali mentor as well, making almost every artistic decision. He was always right, and any questioning of that supposed certainty resulted in horrible consequences. One can only imagine the awestruck teenager Nicole Brown when she first met sports hero and celebrity O.J. Simpson. He was older and seemingly could do no wrong. She later wrote about her wonderful life with the superstar, that wonderful man O.J. Simpson, who it seems authorities apparently always found it difficult to believe was a wife-beater. Loading the language, the presence of thought-terminating verbiage or jargon. Lifton explains this as taking the most far-reaching and complex problems and compressing them into brief, highly reductive, definitive-sounding phrases. This type of verbiage then becomes the frequent start and or finish of many discussions or arguments and is used to dismiss individual expression, the exploration of alternative ideas, or the search for perspective and balance. Many of the women I have spoken to trapped within abusive controlling relationships refer to such language, which is used to abruptly end an argument or dismiss concerns or grievances about the partner's behavior. He will say they are whiny, spoiled, disloyal, label them as flirtatious, idiotic, incompetent, or even an adulterer. Needless to say, much more colorful and harsh language may be used to effectively stop the victim from thinking. The litany of damning words is used like a barrage to destroy any meaningful analysis or consideration about the ongoing situation. The vocabulary of insults invalidates the submitting partner's thoughts and feelings, and in the most abusive situations may be accompanied by physical violence. Doctrine over person. The subordination of experience and reality to the claims of the abuser. This can be seen by the preeminence of the dominating partner's ideas, views, and interpretations, which overwhelm the victim's thinking and analysis. There is a constant shift between the victim's actual experience and the superimposing of the abuser's interpretation of that experience, between genuine feelings and the abuser's spurious cataloging and labeling of those feelings. This in part explains the peculiar disconnect from reality that the submissive partner's mindset seems to reflect to those outside the abusive controlling relationship. They essentially see themselves in a role as cast by their controller. That is, they begin to catalog their thoughts and feelings according to the labels forced upon them. They are labeled stupid, ugly, fat, or worthless. So they not only come to believe these tormenting insults, but also subordinate their experience and feelings to fit their dominant partner's projected view of them. Every perceived mistake, action, or thought is then filed within these labeled categories of existence and experience. They have been coerced to accept them. All of this further validates the demeaning and debilitating image their abuser has imposed upon them and destroys self-esteem. Nicole Brown Simpson once called herself the girl with no self-esteem or self-worth in her disturbing letter to OJ. This reflects the distorted version of reality so often expressed by battered women. They see themselves through the eyes of their abuser. Dispensing of existence. The abuser draws a sharp line between those who have a right to exist in his world and those who have no such right. This is a contrived emotional conflict between what Lifton calls being versus nothingness. The victim comes to feel that existence is dependent upon submission to the controlling partner and his version of reality. This becomes the only means of validation as opposed to virtual extinction. And even when the abuser does not resort to physical violence, this mindset creates unreasonable but nevertheless controlling fear. The only way to overcome that fear is to gain the approval or confirmation from the dominant partner. Repeatedly, Ike told Tina Turner she was nothing without him. And for some time she believed that his confirmation was vital and important. I have witnessed the results of this process over and over again in numerous cases. Submissive partners literally remaking their lives and reinventing their personal histories to comply with the terms of existence as established by their controlling partner. This dispensing of existence is also applied to family, friends, and co-workers. Hedda Nussbaum recalls that Joel Steinberg not only made his confirmations important, but portrayed her family as evil at the root of her supposed bad behavior. Therefore, they didn't have a right to exist in her world any longer.